This is topic 4.1. We're still continuing our journey of factoring. Now we need to talk about the greatest common factor. So actually, before you do any other factoring, the first thing you're always going to do is always, and yes, I'm writing it in capitals, okay? Always factor out the greatest common factor first, okay? That is absolutely 100% of the time what you should do, okay? And then you apply difference of squares or magic X in the box, okay? So I noticed that in here, I have a greatest common factor of 5 because 5 divides both of those. So I'm going to pull out a 5 and I get x squared minus 9. I notice what I have left is 2 terms and they're both squares, so I'm going to do difference of squares factoring. The biggest mistake people make is forgetting to drop down that coefficient that they pulled out. So make sure you write that. And take the square root of the first one, which is x, square root of the back one, which is 3, make one a plus and one a minus. All right, looking at example 14, I am going to look for a greatest common factor first, which I notice is a 2 is the only thing that would divide all 3 terms. So I'm going to pull a 2 out. When I divide 2 into 6q, I get 3q squared. When I divide 2 into 14, I get negative 7q. When I divide 2 into 8, I get 4. Then I'm going to go ahead and do a magic X because I've got a trinomial. So 2 numbers that multiply to 12 and add to negative 7. So that would be negative 3 and negative 4. I'm going to drop this 2 down. Oh, but I got to be careful. I have a leading coefficient, so that means I'm going to have to get out a box as well. So I'm going to get out the box. Top left-hand corner of my box is 3q squared. Bottom right is 4. And then I need I'm going to take these 2 numbers from the magic X and follow them by a Q. It does not matter what order. Then I'm going to multiply or find 2 numbers that multiply to 3. So the only possibilities are 3 and 1. I know that 3 does not divide 4, so I can't put it on the top. So I'm going to put it on the side. So I've got 3q and 1q. 3q divides negative 3q negative 1 times. 1q divides negative 4q negative 4 times. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. So now we're going to write this over here. Again, I've already dropped my coefficient that I pulled out. So I've got q minus 1 times 3q minus 4. All right, let's try example 15. So again, I'm looking and I'm noticing I have a 3 that has a greatest common factor. I'm going to pull that out first, which gives me 4p squared minus 7p plus 1. Now I'm going to try my magic X. So I need 2 numbers that multiply to 4 and add to negative 7. Well, I could do 4 and 1, but that's never going to add to negative 7 no matter what I do to it. 2 and 2, never going to add to number 7. But this one you wouldn't say not factorable because we did in fact factor the 3 out. So this is as far as it goes. All right, let's try example 16. It looks like the biggest thing I can pull out of 16 that would be the greatest looks like 2. So I'm going to pull out the 2. I'm left with 4t squared plus 19t minus 5. All right, it looks like I've got a good old magic X. So 2 numbers that multiply to negative 20 and add to 19. I'm going to go with 20 and 1 and make the 1 negative. I notice I have a leading coefficient, so I know I have to get out the box as well. So the top left-hand corner of the box is 8t squared. Sorry, it's not 8t squared, is it? I need to use my new number, so it would be 4t squared. And then the bottom right is negative 5. And then I'm going to use what I got in the magic X, so 20t minus t. Then I'm going to ask myself, what times what is 4? Well, I could do 2 and 2, but 2 doesn't divide into the negative 1t, at least not nicely. So I'm going to try again. I'm going to try 4 and 1, but 4 does not divide into negative t, but it does divide into 20, so I know I've got to put it on the side, oops, instead of the top. So 4t divides 20t 5 times. 1t divides negative t -1 times, and then I check, -1 times 5 is -5. So I'm going to remember to drop down my 2, and then I'm going to write t plus 5 times 4t minus